Hey guys, and welcome back to our second discussion on the 2013 EB Games Expo. As you may have guessed, it's about the Bethesda Exhibition that was held on it was held in the middle of Saturday. So let's just talk a little bit about what we saw. We weren't allowed to film anything in there. Like, once we got in, we weren't even allowed to film the room or anything. So this is going to be a very footage-sparse video, but let's just talk about what we saw, I guess. So first off, they had Elder Scrolls Online.
They had the Elder Scrolls Online trailer, or developer diary, which...
Well, no, let's be fair. First off, they had a special message from the director of the project.
Yes, they did. Which was talking about why they weren't at Australia and how busy they were making the game.
Yeah.
And then they immediately went on to have the first developer diary. Now, I'm a bit contentious, or Josh is a bit contentious of this. I'm convinced it was the first development diary.
You are right. I found it.
All right. Yes. Because I was too lazy to look it up myself.
I'm not sure if it's actually the first, but it was well and truly online.
Yeah. So, all I'll say is, if you want this video to have footage, I would suggest going to YouTube, as you should already be on, looking up the Elder Scrolls Online first development diary and putting that over this video, and then you've got your footage for this video.
Yeah, and that was it. They started off by saying that they're going to spend the majority of the exhibition trying to convince us to sign up for the beta for Elder Scrolls Online. But that is all they showed, but just the early dev diary. No special demonstration or anything. From what I can tell, Elder Scrolls Online was actually playable on the show floor. We didn't get it because it was a pretty large lineup. At least we think it was a pretty large lineup, and we weren't allowed to film. So we were just baffled as to why they didn't do a live demo or anything like that.
Well, show us anything, because I'd seen that before a long time ago. It was literally just the first development diary. So they talked about their new server system, their mega servers, and they actually even prefaced the fact that because when the video was made, the first-person aspect of the Elder Scrolls Online hadn't been fully implemented, or even implemented at all yet.
Yes, so, well, I said to you right after the trailer ended that, that's weird, they didn't show off any of the newly touted first-person mode, and then straight after that the guy starts saying, yeah, the reason you didn't see it was because that was from much earlier. Yeah.
So it was sort of baffling to see that they'd had an entire presentation, a very, very big presentation, Mike. Huge screen.
It probably cost some money to get this, all set up with EB Games. Quite
a lot of money. But after that, they moved on to... Because there's really nothing else to say on...
Well, no, there's not. Everyone has seen what we saw.
Yes. Then we move on to Wolfenstein.
Well, Wolfenstein The New Order, isn't it?
The New Order. I think it's not like that.
Yeah.
It's red, it's German, it's,
It's a reboot of Wolfenstein, and we did actually get to see something a little more tangible. So we start off with a trailer, which I think most people have seen now. It's starts off with a whole lot of live-action stuff about how the Nazis changed history.
I don't know if that's... I'm sure that's been around.
I was positive I had seen that intro.
Yeah, I had not, because I haven't paid too much attention to Wolfenstein. I liked it. I thought it was sort of impactful in a way.
Yeah, it really set the scene quite well.
Yep, and then we got to the gameplay.
Yes, we actually got about what would you say, 15 minutes?
Yeah, it was 15 minutes, so, they showed off the game, but I'm pretty sure it's another demo we've seen before. Though I wasn't expecting...
I hadn't seen that personally. I've kept at least one eye on Wolfenstein, just because I'm always... I really love the original Wolfenstein, so I'm always kind of curious to see what the series is doing, and I hadn't seen this demo anywhere before. But I'd say I'm sure it exists somewhere.
When the E3 demo was the one where you see him driving in the car, and he blows up, and then they go inside the rubble. Well, this demo started inside the rubble.
So it was actually a direct continuation of the E3 demo then?
Pretty much, yes.
Okay.
But it was already... A lot of it had already been seen, but they got right to the end. So it was something I hadn't seen before, at least.
Yeah, no, it was interesting to watch, at least for a time. I mean, I'll be honest, I got kind of bored by the end.
Well, it's a first-person shooter that is touting all these features, which we've seen thousands of times.
It was pretty funny. The guy was who was doing the demo. He was trying to get everyone excited and that sort of thing, and he was trying to do the best job that he could. But he the features that they were touting were things like dual wielding guns,
Yep.
And detaching a turret.
Yep. Destructible environments, which I must admit look pretty good.
But I will give them destructible environments because their system seems to be designed for actually weaving destructible environments into the general gameplay. So you could destroy cover and like pillars and things like that. So it made a lot of sense in the gameplay, at least the way he showed it off.
And he did spend some time showing off the laser cutter, which was quite impressive. He cut a few different boxes.
It wasn't at first. Because if you remember, it was just... At first, it's basically just this stinky little thing that cuts one chain. And he used it multiple times to basically do the exact same thing. And at the time, we were saying it might, just be a one-trick pony. It's a cool idea, but it may not be anything. But later in the demo, he gets a much larger one. And that's where the fun begins.
Cuts. Yeah. And it did look quite good. That improved the destructible environment.
How about you explain that to everyone, like what it did?
Well, it basically creates an awesome laser beam that wherever you aim that little crosshair, it cuts and ceases to be held up by any gravity anymore.
So basically you could cut through pieces of the wall and stuff like that.
Yeah, but I also wonder, because they always show you these things and then they never give you any sort of indication of how it actually holds up with outside of a controlled environment.
Well, what I noticed is the fact that he could only burn through one specific type of surface.
That's exactly right. And I'm sure there are lots of types of surface you can burn through, but only the ones they want you to. Which takes what is this wonderful, hole-cutting, freedom-giving device and makes it another gameplay feature that makes strictly linear corridors slightly less linear.
On that note, however, I would say the fact that it wasn't strictly a linear game. It was actually one of the more... it had a tiny bit of that 90s shooter design in it, because we saw him, for example, there was a part where a mech came in and he could have taken it on head on, but instead he went up an air vent and cut, using the laser cutter, he cut an object down which fell onto the mech, destroying it.
A B-2 rocket.
Yeah, so there's yes, that's right. Sorry, I was forgetting what it was. But, so there is a little bit of that choice in level design right there. I don't know how well that's going to go throughout the entire game, whether your options are going to grow throughout the game or anything like that, levels are going to become more complex. But it's definitely a step up from the modern military shooter style of single-player campaign.
Yeah, very true. He did, at the end, the demo was running out of time when he made the claim that we have to hurry it up, so we're just going to get all out, because he was being stealthy initially. So he decided that he was going to say the odds of us dying were a lot higher, and we were just going to run through. Except when he started opening fire, everyone started shooting back, and it was I don't know, sand hitting you. It just didn't do anything. And the health regenerated, which it shouldn't have because it had an armor and a health system. There was a weird.
It's a weird hybrid.
But it's like they've taken those ideas and been too scared to fully implement them in this world, in this era, and so they've given them regenerative health. And even if it's, I don't know how it works fully, if it's full regenerative health or if it only goes up to a certain number.
It regenerates to 99. And what you can do is you can get health packs which take your health above that.
Oh, overcharged.
But the fact is that if you just get behind cover for a short time, your health is just going to regenerate to 99 anyway.
Yeah.
So it kind of takes away from that. Like you were saying, they were kind of scared, I think, to go the full mile.
It didn't seem to bother anyone in the crowd. They were cheering for it.
Yes, it was. We were kind of laughing about that because when he announced that you could dual wield guns, the crowd got really excited, and when you could attach a turret, the crowd got really excited, and it was, I don't know, maybe we're just too cynical, but we've seen this stuff so many times.
Well, probably not so shiny graphics, but.
Well, we probably have, actually.
Probably. Okay, so I think all in all that game is probably worth a look at, but...
I'm planning to keep an eye on it. Actually, one thing I will also say about the levels that we saw is that at first it was pretty much grey corridors, but there was some variety, like you entered that planetarium area.
Ah, yes.
And I thought that was a great way to kind of break up the monotony of the the environment, the pretty stale Nazi-looking environment.
And it set the world atmosphere up better, because one of the things they pointed out before was it wasn't the Americans who made it to the moon, it was the Nazi Germans who made it to the moon. So having that planetarium there kind of set the tone more and made you feel more like you're in this new alternate version of London.
Exactly. So actually, that's an interesting point as well. You're in a Nazi compound in London, so I'm interested to see how that actually might play into other parts, of the level further along.
Yeah.
But or other parts of the environment, I should say. But yeah, I'm going to keep an eye on Wolfenstein: The New Order. I think it may still have a ways to go, or at least we need to see a bit more. But it's promising at this stage.
Quite, and
that's the best you've got for Wolfenstein for a long time.
Yeah. Well, no, I own Wolfenstein, the 2009 one, and I mean it's bad, but it's I've played worse games.
Yes, but wouldn't a good game be a lot better than a bad game?
Oh, look. This day and age, I'll take what I can get.
Oh dear, but yeah, so that was the Bethesda Exhibition. This discussion actually went on a lot longer than I expected, but yeah, so we were hoping to see a lot more from, I was about to call it Middle-earth Online, that takes me back, but Elder Scrolls Online. So it was pretty disappointing they didn't show more of that, but the Wolfenstein showcase was pretty good. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on that one and see how it goes. And I guess just to tout their message, you can sign up for the Elder Scrolls Online beta. So do that.
If you want.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's a free access to their game. Yeah, why not? But anyway, that will conclude our discussion about the Bethesda Exhibition. Thanks for watching, guys, and we will see you later.